Welcome everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host Scotty McCoy, and boy do I have a surprise for all of you. I have on Zoom with me right now Lydia Manson, and she plays Kelly Pinson in the upcoming movie Hellsgate. And I'm excited to talk about this. I'm excited to have you back on. You're actually my first interview in about, I wouldn't say in 2 years, but pretty much since grad school started 2 years ago. Had a
Oh,
couple here and there, but I was pretty much on a hiatus for 2 years. So you're my first interview back after grad school, and I'm so glad to have you on. How you doing,
thank
Lydia?
you. I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Now that I got a working webcam, the other one was
Right?
hard time, and over in this half of the room where I usually do my stuff is flooded and all that stuff. So we got that fixed, and that's taken care of. But I have to do it in a different part of the room and all that stuff. And it looks like I got a new background since you've been here last.
Yes, I was gonna say. I like the knife.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. So last time I think I had you on two times before, and I asked you both times, how you got your start, like as an actress. And if anybody wants to know that information, they can really, and if you want to answer it in this upcoming question, they can also go back to the other interviews as well to get to know you more. I'm going to start off kind of asking something similar but different. And how'd you got your start getting involved with the indie film community?
Um, so I mean, they really do go hand in hand. I had started acting because a friend of mine had been cast into a small indie project. At the time, I really had no idea of like the indie film community, which I mean is terrible for me to say, because I was just so used to like mainstream movies. I never really watched like the low budget stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's obviously an awesome community, but I was just like so used to the mainstream. So when my friend said she was going to be in this film, I was like, oh well, I have to follow it and like support you because that's the right thing to do.
Mhm.
And then little while later, the director had posted that he was looking to fill like a couple more roles. So she told me to put in for it. I did. I ended up getting the role. Um, and then just kind of like putting myself out there and, more auditions. Certain people liked a particular look of mine. So they wanted that. And I ended up taking like I took a big step back about 2 years ago. Like probably the last time we spoke, like right before that, right after I filmed Reading from Hell 2, which I think is when we did our second episode,
Yeah.
because I had stuff going on at home, and that that was more important than any film I could possibly make. So this past like I want to say year maybe, I've started to try and gain traction again, if that makes sense, and putting myself out there and getting attached to new projects. So that's kind of how I got in.
Yeah.
Um, I just started like friending all the actors and directors and stuff on Facebook and talking to people and networking wherever I went, no matter what set I was on. I was getting to know everybody. If I was at a con, I was getting to know everybody I could, because the old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, is true. And I've ended up meeting a lot of great people that way. So,
Yeah. Absolutely. And I have to say, I told you this plenty of times in messages, but you are an inspiration to me. You helped me with my weight loss journey. Like
don't make me cry.
you really did. You really did. Like I'm proud to say, since January, I was at my heaviest at 220. Now I just met with the dietitian today. I'm now at 207.8. So like you really are an inspiration to me.
I'm going to tell you right now because it's going to be a drag. Hitting the 100 land
Mhm.
is going to be your hardest milestone.
Yeah.
I swear to God, you're going to be at like 201 and you're like, yes, it's like right there in my sight. And then you're going to bounce up to like 203 and you're like, um, but it was like, why aren't you going down? I'm
Right.
not eating as much food.
Yeah.
And so then it was like once I hit 199, I was like, yes. It was like that held me for like weeks.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm at the point where I still like I'm down like 13, 14, whatever it is pounds, and I'm still looking down and like my gut is still showing like why is this not leaving? And every month I see my dietitian and I go to her, I'm like, why I know I ask this every month, but why when will my gut go away? She goes, some people it could take a year, it could take 2 years. It really like just worry about doing the right thing, and it eventually will go away because when you're losing the weight, it doesn't mean it's coming off of your gut. The fat that you're
Yeah.
losing could be your arms, or it could be your legs, or it could be whatever. But not all the time is it going to be in your gut, and that's kind of where I'm at.
I think that's one of the biggest things that people who actually get into not just a diet, but like a lifestyle change. Because now I had started my journey 3 years ago. I was at 248. 2 years later, I had gotten down to two. I ended up really, because I ended up getting really unhealthy towards the end,
Mm-hmm.
um, which I used to not talk about, but now I think it's important that I talk about. I developed very severe body dysmorphia, and well, like probably 30 pounds I lost. That's when everybody was like really noticing for some reason, and everybody's telling you how good you look, blah blah blah, like, and you're like, oh my god, I have to keep this up. I still look in the mirror and I still see this 250-pound person. So it like really was messing with me mentally, and I'm like, I have to keep going lower. I have to keep going lower. I ended up getting down to 138, 130, like around there, and it was like my collarbones were hollow, my cheeks were really sunken in. And I really, I was going days without eating. It was not healthy. I was losing a lot of my hair. And I ended up putting probably about 20 more pounds back on. And so it was a, a mind fuck. And now I look at, because everybody's like, oh, do this 6-week workout and you'll get abs. No, no, it doesn't work like that. You
So
cannot spot control where fat comes off.
yeah,
It's
that's
gonna,
that's
like you said,
exactly
it's
my
gonna
diet
come,
today.
and that is, it's so hard to understand because you're just like, oh well, if I'm doing abs, like obviously that fat is gonna melt away first. Nope. A calorie is a calorie is a calorie, and it doesn't matter where it finds that calorie that it's losing. So for me, it was actually learning like like all the dynamics of this stuff, and it's like there's so much information out there once you get into it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's what they were telling me today. They're like, unfortunately, we want to pick where it comes off of, but we can't. Like, I lost. I mean, I was on vacation, so I was going to enjoy my vacation and eat what I wanted to
Yeah.
eat, and I gained 2 pounds from that. And I worked hard and lost those 2 pounds and lost a couple of extra or whatever to get I only lost zero point 0.3 in a month.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine because I was on vacation for a week and all that other stuff, and they were okay with that. But like last month when I weighed myself, I lost like 3.5 pounds, and I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
like it's just one of those things that you can't pick where it comes off of. And I struggle. I don't like going to the gym. I just don't like it. Like I mean, I know I'm gay, but I don't like this seeing. I just don't like being near a sweaty man. The smell, you know what I mean? Like it's just that idea,
I love working out. I absolutely hate going to the gym. And if anybody comes with me, I always say this. I'm like, I still don't think I'm doing these exercises 100% right. I mean, it's better than doing nothing. I was like, but I feel like I'm going to end up in somebody's TikTok video one day. And it sucks because when you focus so much on that, you're not focusing on the exercising and getting better at the exercising. So it sucks that it's gotten to that point. But
Yeah,
it's also, my own mental health that I need to deal with and get over it. Like obviously I can't control what anybody else is going to do. And to be matter of fact, there's probably absolutely not one single person in my gym that looks at me when I'm there. So it's just, but your mind tells you
yeah,
that, like,
yeah.
you look stupid doing this. Why are you here?
And a lot of people tell me that my dietitian told me like what I like because I told her I don't want to go to the gym. Like people don't wipe off the machines. Like is like I just your mind thinks that way. Oh, maybe they did, but maybe they didn't. Now if they didn't, now my body's on their sweat. And what if they have something I don't want? That type
Mm-hmm.
of thing. So I told my dietitian this, and on top of that, on top of not having time, I was in grad school and everything, so I really didn't have time. I wrote a 600-page dissertation. Like I just didn't have time. So she told me that, well, do you like playing video games, right? I'm like, yeah. She said, download Just Dance. I
Oh
dance
yeah.
every freaking day and I love it. Now I'm dancing badly. I'm singing badly with the songs.
Well, I mean, look at when people do Dancing with the Stars.
Hmm.
You know, if you look at them from the beginning of the season to the end,
Yeah.
they, and there's a big controversy going on with like Wicked and the two leads in Wicked because it looks like they've lost so much weight. And I
Hmm.
was actually having that discussion with somebody recently, and I said, no, it's like a thing with people that play Glenda and Elphaba. I don't think people realize, and maybe even, they didn't realize when they took the roles how much calories they were going to be expending every day. And they probably weren't adding more food back in to make up for that because they were all doing live singing for the takes. And like, that's a lot on your
Yeah.
body. And I think that's why they look as thin as they do now because they
Yeah.
just weren't overcompensating the food that they needed because they were overcompensating all the physical activity that they were doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, it's a very important thing that people don't realize that. I mean, and it's also a big thing like for like health wise and sleeping properly, eating properly, exercising properly. Like that all ties in together to mental health, to
It
getting through the
does.
day to day, working if you work a 9 to 5 or work a full time job, that type of thing. Like they all go together into helping you get through the day and be successful and to actually power through, not just getting by on caffeine and coffee and all that.
Yeah, I think another thing too is it's like, okay, I have a broken arm. I put a cast on it, it gets better.
Yeah.
You have, say, depression or something, you start taking medication to help it. There's nothing you can do to get better from overeating.
Yeah.
Like, because you need food to survive. You can't just stop it. It's not just like, oh, I'm smoking cigarettes. I'm going to quit. It's bad for me.
Right.
I'm drinking too much. I'm going to stop. You
Mhm.
still have to eat to survive.
Yeah.
And it's, it, it gets to the point where you're just like, like, oh, I gained half a pound. I can't eat for 2 days now,
Right.
and I think that's the worst part is
Yeah.
trying to recover from that and now do it in a healthy way.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize even that half a pound you might have gained, it could have been it was most likely water weight.
Yes, because a calorie is made up of what is it, 2,700 or 3,500 calories in a pound.
Yep.
So these people, they're like, oh my God, I gained 5 pounds since yesterday. No, you didn't.
It was
No,
water.
you didn't, because that would probably be around 20,000 calories just for the 5 pounds. And that's in addition to your daily maintenance calories, which is
Right.
probably around 1,800 to
Right.
2,000. So did you eat 22,000 calories yesterday? Well, no, then you didn't gain 5 pounds.
Right. And this is more of a personal thing that I'm going to say, but like I always weigh myself the day. Like I usually weigh myself like maybe once or twice a week, but every day, the morning of my dietitian appointment, I always weigh myself in the morning when I wake up, and then I weigh myself before I leave. So I weighed myself. I woke up this morning, weighed myself. I was like, I think it was like 210. Then I'm like, oh wait, I didn't go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, did my thing, and I was 208.2 or something like that. So my scale is probably off by a couple of points or whatever, based on the dietitian scale. But anyways, like I lost 3 pounds just from going to the bathroom. Like people don't realize that, going to having to go to the bathroom or drinking a lot of water, like those things stay in your until flush it out of your system.
Mhm.
So, like, just because you gain 3 pounds, that could just be, having, not going to the bathroom, not flushing whatever is in your body that needs to be flushed out. Like, those are things that people don't realize, and when they see that, and this is important conversation because like you said, people go through body dysmorphia, and they
That's why I
go.
started talking about it.
Yes, because people don't realize that something, just gaining a pound doesn't mean stop eating for 3 days. It means that maybe you didn't go to the bathroom, or maybe it's water weight, or because it can go up or down a pound or two on the scale just because of that's how life is.
I tell people, I'm like, originally I don't know why I had where I got it from, but I was like, I need to get down to 165. Like that's it. That's my goal. 165. I have no idea why I picked 165. It's not like it's the optimal weight for my body, like my size or anything. Like I don't know, but I chose 165. And I realized I'm like, I have to stop focusing on that. So I was taking more like progress pictures and actual doing like actual measurements because it's like, yeah, the scale didn't move, but I lost like 2 inches on my stomach,
Right.
and that was stuff I could look at and see the difference.
Yeah.
And then I made it my goal that I was like, you know what? I want to fit into a size pair of 10 jeans.
Hmm.
I made that my goal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Kept pulling them on until they fit. And it
Right.
was a lot easier to look at the pair of jeans as an end goal than look at the scale and hoping it's going to say 165.
Right. And I know, like, when I was like started dancing, I'm like, I was like out of breath after the first song. I'm like, my goal is I'm gonna get to 5 songs and I'm not gonna be out of breath. Now I can do 5 songs and not be out of breath.
That's
Like
awesome.
in,
Snap
in two
for
months.
Scotty.
In 2 months. And it's funny because Kyle, he gets a kick out of this. Like, because I do I the first song I always do, it's a good warm-up song, it's Beauty and the Beat by Justin Bieber and Nicki Minaj on Just Dance, and I love it. And that's the first song I always do. And every time he hears it, he's like, oh, that song again. He's like so sick of it now because
If
I've
you
always
do, it works.
but it
If it ain't
works. It's a
broke,
good
don't
warm-up
fix
song. I
it.
do always the same songs. I do that one. I do Hit 'em Up Style by Blue Control. I do love that. I
Yes.
do Whenever Wherever by Shakira.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, there's so many songs I do, and it's so much fun. I do Bad Romance by Lady Gaga. Like, there's just so many cool songs that they have on there, and it was on sale for like $35 when I bought it. Came with 4 month subscription to Plus, and then after 4 months I got to buy it the Plus version, but it's only like $20 to $30 like for the year, which
Huh.
isn't at all.
And what is that for, like any system? I never.
I know it's on. I have it on PlayStation 5. I didn't look if it's on Nintendo Switch or not. I'm assuming it is. Because Kyle.
I'm sitting here with like my PS3
It
and my
might be.
Wii and my Nintendo
It is
64.
on. I know it's on the Wii because Kyle had it for the Wii years and years and years ago.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, you probably. I don't know if you could buy it on there. I don't know how that works if they have a shop or not because I don't really have the Wii. But I mean, you could probably buy the thing off Amazon, like the actual game. Yeah, it's so cool and it's so much fun. Like, I sing bad, I dance bad, and I'm doing
But
two
you're
workouts at
having fun and
once and having fun.
you're moving when you normally wouldn't be moving, and that's all it is.
Exactly.
You know,
Absolutely.
you're not
Absolutely.
having to go. Everybody thinks, oh, I have to go to the gym for like 2 hours. No, an actual like complete workout you can do in less than an hour with like 5 total exercises, 3 days a week, and you will see results.
I'm doing more workout every day for 20 minutes just dancing. No pun intended. than I am literally at the gym twice a week.
Hmm.
Like, I'm doing more workout because at the gym we would stay for an hour, but I didn't feel like I did much because I didn't like it because I didn't like being on machines when people were like, I didn't know if they washed them off and because they felt like it was still a little like wet or whatever. And and then on top of that, yeah, we're in Baltimore. We have people sometimes there's no machines available. You know what I mean? And then you're waiting for somebody to get off. It's like, oh, when are they gonna get done already? You know? So that kind of thing. So I feel better. I don't have to leave my house. I don't gotta waste my gas. I don't gotta go to a place where people are. I can do it from my house and just put on the game, turn up the volume, and just start dancing.
Hmm.
So about Hell's Gate,
Yeah.
what is Hell's Gate about? What can you tell us about Hell's Gate, and what can you tell us about your character, Kelly Pinson?
So Hellsgate is about a cult that is run by Keith Appleson, played by Otis B. Dreads. And it is run under the guise of a wellness center called Sprouts, where they let you grow.
Okay.
A lot of stuff,
Oh.
double meaning. Um, and, you know, Keith, he's not everybody, like, yes, we've kind of alluded to Manson here and there. His name does appear in the film, but like the Otis character is not Manson, and he's not trying to be Manson. And I think that's one of the biggest things trying to explain to people. You know, Keith's character helps people find their way to do what they end up doing. He just happens to enjoy helping them get there because he knows what they're going to do. Some gnarly stuff. So then you also find out that there's an undercover FBI agent who's in basically his girlfriend.
Hmm.
So it's okay, well, does she complete her mission or does she end up falling victim to, his his mesmerizing talks and things like that? Because, she's a person just like anybody else. She's susceptible to his charms. So, it's that big moral dilemma of I was sent here to do a mission. I need to do that, but my heart now is telling me I need to follow this road. And my character Kelly, me and my two friends come in contact with Samantha, who is the undercover FBI agent, and she tells us all about Sprouts, and she really thinks we would like and enjoy meeting Keith. So she takes us back, and we fall victim to his charms, and Kelly does some stuff that Lydia would not be proud of. So,
Sounds good. So, how did you prepare to bring that character to life?
so when I originally joined the project, Aaron Hawkins, the director and creator of it, he had brought me on to play Kelly. Um, and I was like, yeah, awesome. Like, it was the main scene I was in was completely insane. However, the more we got into it, I was asked to be assistant director. Um, so now I'm assistant director, and now I'm actually co-writer and co-creator.
Nice.
So definitely putting on a lot of hats for this one. And as much as I loved Kelly's original scenes, um, we talked it over and we ended up bringing Robert Lasardo on, who is playing my scene partner. And the scene, the way it was written, was just not up to caliber. Like
Mhm.
Robert Lasardo, he deserved a better scene than that. So we rewrote it and made it a better character and everything for Robert and myself too. So I hope people enjoy that. We put a lot of work into that, and I hope people will see it and appreciate it.
Mhm.
Because
That's awesome.
I try and pay attention to like the biggest things that people say about indie films, and it's usually like, oh, there's no character development, there's no cohesive storyline. So I wanted to make sure that we did bring those things. And now watch, I say this during podcasts, and I harp on it to Aaron so much, and it's going to come out, and they're going to be like, "That was terrible," and I'm going to be like, "Well, obviously, I don't know how to write." But it's been really interesting. I've definitely learned so much more working on this film than I think I have in like the last 2 years. So it's crazy.
That's awesome. So, I'm assuming filming started then.
It has not started. We're still raising funds. We have a couple meetings with producers and potential investors coming up. So
Yeah.
we are planning on early spring of 2026.
Okay.
And we'll be filming in Illinois, about an hour outside of Chicago, in like the Batavia area. If anybody's familiar with that, I am not, because I have never been. Um, but that's where Aaron lives, and that's where we're filming. So he knows a lot of great spots and stuff.
Nice.
So
Nice. So, is there going to be an Indiegogo, or is there currently an Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign going on?
we did have an Indiegogo, and we managed to hit our introductory $10,000 goal. So we're in demand. Everybody could still go to our Indiegogo. We still have lots of great perks on there that you can get. So check that out and help us, continue to grow, because we want to, we use the hashtag join the cult. Just
Hmm.
spread the word of Hellsgate. Spread it, like let more people join in, because we're trying to make it more of an immersive experience overall, like between the social media posts and everything, just trying to bring people in, like, you know what, you belong here with us, just to show, which is one of the points we touch on in Hellsgate, that, even though certain parts of society might not accept you, like, you're going to be accepted here.
Hmm.
So I want people to know, you're not alone in anything. There's always somebody that will accept you and be there for you.
Absolutely. So, if somebody wants to donate to the Indiegogo, how can they find or how can they get to the Indiegogo page? Is there something? Is there a link somewhere? Is there a website or?
Yeah, we have the Hellsgate Instagram, Hellsgate the movie, and then on our Facebook group, Hellsgate the movie, and it's we throw it in all the comments because the Facebook algorithm hates links in
Yeah.
in posts. So pretty much, I think every post has a comment with a link in it. If you go to my personal Instagram, Lydia Manson 88, or if you go to my Facebook page, Lydia Manson, I have the link in my bio on Instagram, and then I have the link as my pinned post on my Facebook profile, which you'll be able to watch our teaser trailer. And then probably within the next week or so, we're going to be releasing our full proof of concept.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get an overall feel for the story, and just see the production value that we're going to bring. Tried to build a really great team to make this look like it's not being shot for less money. We want people to see that, oh wow, this looks like really good. I can't believe it only cost this much. And I'm gonna be like, I know, we worked really hard.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. That would be great. And on top of all this, like you're an amazing actress, amazing person, and actress. So, I'm saying that because there are people that are watching this that maybe would like to be an actor, whether it's in the indie industry or mainstream. Do you have any advice for those aspiring actors or actresses themselves, like if they're trying to break into the business?
I would say, based on from what I have learned, if you're trying to start acting, is pay attention to your local colleges that have film programs, because filming students always need actors.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get paid, but you're going to get footage, and you're going to see yourself. You're going to be able to correct yourself, and you can start collecting that footage for a reel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important. And the more you get in front of the camera, the more comfortable you become in front of the camera. So I would say start finding those student films, because that
Absolutely.
is how you will get the most experience quickly. Um, so that is huge.
Absolutely. And also for those watching, if you want to donate to any type of Indiegogo, not just Hell's Gate, but any Indiegogo, research the person that's raising the funds. Because there are, even though a lot of the people in the industry are nice people and good people and trustworthy
Mm-hmm.
people, we know personally that there are a couple bad apples that spoil it for the bunch. And you need to definitely do your research on people when you're donating to anybody. Now, Lydia, she's a great person, so definitely help out Hell's Gate.
Thank
Aaron
you.
Hawkins, I never really talked to him, but I know of his reputation, and his reputation precedes him. Great person. So you can do. I can assure you personally from Slasher Scotty. I can assure you that Hell's Gate is a product that if you like a film that you would want to donate to you if you have the funds to do it. If you don't have the funds, that's okay. You can still
Just
share it.
a share goes a
Share it. It's
long
free.
way,
Free in
right?
2 seconds of your time.
2 seconds. For
Two
less
seconds.
than one cup of coffee a day, you can help make this filmmaker's dream come true.
Exactly. But also, like, if you're gonna donate to any other film projects out there, because it is fun to donate and it is great to see projects that your
There's
name.
a lot of great campaigns
There's a
going on
lot
right
of great
now.
campaigns, but always do your research because you
Yeah.
don't want to get burned either. Because there are a few people that will take advantage of the situation, but it doesn't mean that every film project is a bad film project. But with just like with anything, research is always key for anything, because you're not going to go to a doctor and not research the reviews and how their practices are. So
Mm-hmm.
like the same thing with the film can like you want to do your research because trust me, there are bad people in all walks of life. So
Yeah.
definitely do your research. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Lydia. One last question I got for
Yes,
you.
of
Do
course.
you have anything else that you want to promote?
Oh my gosh. All the things, all the things. Um, I got my first leading role. I
Ah,
know.
it's awesome.
I know. I still can't believe it. It's going to be filming in November in
Awesome.
Texas. It's called A Toy Maker.
Nice.
The director is by the director is by the director is Evan Allen,
Yeah.
and it's being produced by Mark Anthony Baca, who is also the stunt coordinator. He's he just worked on Minecraft. He's working on a movie with an A-list actor that we can't say right now, but he's got a lot of work under his belt. He has an Emmy. He knows what he's doing. So really super excited, but super nervous for that because I've never been a lead before.
That's a very good, but a good nervous thing. But it's
Yeah,
like, oh my god, a lot of pressure building up. You
a
got
little
this.
bit, a little bit,
As I
a
mentioned,
little bit.
you are a good actress. You got this.
um, and then in 2 weeks, I go to Connecticut to film Fairfield County 4, which is a werewolf found footage
Okay.
by director Joshua Bruckner. And then 2 weeks after that, I go to Buffalo to film Castle de la Morte by Ty Chaman. And that is a 1940s black and white um,
Don't see many of
vamp-
those.
vampire. It's basically like Young
Okay.
Frankenstein. It kind of plays off that. So if you're like a fan of that type of movie, then this will be
I
right
love
up your
those movies.
alley.
I don't see
I
those that
even
often. I love those.
I
I love the
know.
Costello movies.
I know. I asked Ty, I said, do you think that I should do like the accent? And he's like, which accent? And I was like, Frankenstein's assistant, like the Dutch. And he's like, oh my God, go for it. I was like, am I allowed to just break out into song? He's like, you can do whatever you want. And I was like, you
That's
shouldn't have told me that.
that's awesome.
And then in July, I get to go to Chicago and film the Red Huntress series, where I get to play a gargoyle that has been brought to life. And that's actually a period piece too. The whole series takes place in like the late 1800s.
Nice.
So I play a gargoyle that's brought to life, and it was great. I mean, it was exciting because two people paid to be killed in a scene by me. So I'm like,
Oh
oh my
wow.
God, like that, that was crazy.
Yeah. I
So,
thought.
and then also, not sure when we were going to film this, but the Indiegogo is in demand and it's still going. They are editing the proof of concept right now. It's William Instone's new film called Goldilocks.
Okay.
And his film Butcher's Bluff recently came out. I think he has like 36 kills in there.
Nice. Did you say it was Goldilocks?
Yeah, originally it
Tell
was
me
called
Goldilocks
Caught.
is gonna be the killer.
Well, it is. So the funny thing about Goldilocks is, and William is so amazing at marketing. Like he does all these cons, and the wig that the killer is wearing, he's getting women at all of these cons to cut off a braid of their hair, and it goes into the wig.
Oh man,
So
that's
the
amazing.
wig is literally made up of blonde hair from like so many people,
That's so cool.
right?
That is so freaking cool.
So that's exciting stuff.
That is really cool. You have a lot going on. I'm so happy for you.
Oh, thank you.
You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it.
Thank
Oh,
you. I'm so happy you're doing so good in school.
I know. I just got my master's. I can't believe I
Ah.
got it. I didn't get the degree yet, but I passed. So I'm waiting for the degree to come in the mail, whenever that'll be. But I am so
But you still get to
excited.
say it.
Yeah, this was the hardest semester of my life. It was 549 pages. Like, I'd say 600 because it's not that far from 600, but 549
It's
pages
close
of
enough.
a dissertation. Exactly, it's very close. And then I had to do a 500 question comprehensive examination, multiple choice on every class I've taken the past 2 years. I could only get 100 wrong, and it was to get an 80%, or I don't graduate. And then I had to take a thesis examination, which was a programming project because I majored in web and mobile app development. So I did a thesis examination, needed an 80% on that. I got to pick the project and I had to basically create an entire e-commerce web archive website and do that. And both of them had to be done proctored, one by a software, and then the thesis was with somebody watching me, literally watching me program this website with me sharing my screen. And
No
I
pressure there.
right? I got a 94 on that, and I got an 84 on the comprehensive exam.
Yay. That's so
So,
exciting.
yeah, so I'm so excited. My college was out in Kansas, but I didn't go. I didn't go to the obviously didn't go, and I'm glad I didn't because I got. We were planning on going, and I'm glad I didn't because I got an email alert literally like a day before the graduation ceremony that they're in a tornado warning, and then the next day during graduation a tornado touched down. And that was my fear of why I didn't want to go because of tornado season.
Oh my God.
Imagine I went knowing my fear and it came true.
I
We wanted to do an RV road trip there.
Kansas of all places.
Right. We wanted to do an RV road trip there and like make it like a sightseeing tour across the country and stay in the RV in like some type of RV district area or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, RV area that you could park your RV. And I was like, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this. A lot of money, but also I'm afraid of tornadoes. I looked it up. Tornado season is this time of year. And Kyle's like, no, there won't be no tornadoes. Well, there was a freaking tornado.
And I'm 14 pounds lighter, so I'm gonna get picked up.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be going to see Wicked. I'll be going to
Look
Oz.
to the western sky.
Well, thank you so much,
Oh,
Lydia,
thank
for
you for
joining.
having me. I'm so excited to be the first one back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Pleasure's
Get all
always.
your jitters out with me.
Well, the pleasure's always mine. I'm so glad to have you. You have a great
Oh,
rest of your night.
you
All right.
too.
Thank you. Bye.